All right, y'all, we are live on this very beautiful, what day is it? Wednesday. This very beautiful Wednesday. Blessings to everybody in the name of Yeshua, Jesus the Messiah. I do pray everybody is very blessed. Thank you so much for being part of the stream, guys. As usual, if we can get 1,000 likes during the first 30 minutes of this stream, we will be doing a Bitcoin giveaway. We will be giving away $250 of Bitcoin. Can you believe that, guys? It is going to be absolutely amazing. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to Tattoo Destroyer. Shout out to Houston. Shout out to Cad Earski. Shout out to Jerry YTFF and Robert Bonar Man holding it down with the wrench. Shout out to TJ Johnson over here flexing mad hard right now. Shout out to Lauren in the chat. Shout out to TJ Johnson. Shout out to Newt. What is going on, Newt? And everybody in the chat. God bless you guys. You are awesome. You are awesome. We need to talk about this Bitcoin price because things are getting very, very juicy and interesting right now, and things are going to get even more juicy and more interesting as the week goes on, as the week progresses. Because, guys, next week, next Wednesday, the FOMC announcement is going to happen. We just had CPI yesterday. We had PPI today. And the Bitcoin price is at a very crucial area of resistance, a support resistance flip. Shout out for the super chat. Thank you so much, Tattoo Destroyer. He says, hey bro, go to the 16-hour time frame, then back to 2017. We're creating the same pattern. We will definitely have to check that out, my friend. We will definitely have to check that out. So let's take a look at the Bitcoin chart real quick. And let's just take note of a few things that are happening right now locally, right? So Bitcoin has come up. And we know that yesterday we did find some resistance, right? We came up to a very important level, which is the Fibonacci golden pocket retracement from the May high 2022 to the low that we just put in right about here, right? Look at this, right up to the Fibonacci golden pocket. And as we all know, that 618 Fibonacci level is a very hard woman, right? My high school crush, 6 Juanita, was in the friend zone unknowingly, right? So when I asked her on a date, she absolutely did reject me, and it hurt really bad. As you can see right here, as we came up to the 618 fib level, boom, massive rejection. And when we take a look down at market Cipher B, what was happening? None other than the dreaded upside down uneven butt cheek pattern, where we have a very juicy left butt cheek followed by a very skinny right butt cheek. And when we take a look at market Cipher B, we can see, especially, we can see it on the daily time frame, right? We have a very juicy cheek right here, boom, and then pretty much a non-existent cheek right here, okay? As the price is getting higher into key resistance. Now, not only is this the Fibonacci golden pocket retracement, but this is also the 200-week moving average. Not only is this the 200-week moving average, but if we take a look at all the volume that has traded since May, this is also the value area high of the entire range. So this is a triple resistance with a potential very uneven butt cheek pattern here. Not only uneven butt cheek pattern, but if we go to the 8-hour time frame, we can see that we are printing the dreaded upside down Sam Bankman-Fried man boob pattern, where the money flow is crossing purple, the momentum waves are getting lower as the price is getting higher. Very similar to the chest of Sam Bankman-Fried, where we have the red pepperoni is getting lower, the momentum waves getting lower, the money flow getting lower, right? As the price is getting higher. And although this might drive Caroline wild and entice her to stop using a stop loss, it is not necessarily the best thing for the Bitcoin price action. Now, if the price can close, in my opinion, a daily or a weekly candle above this very key zone, specifically the 200-week moving average, I do believe we are going to hit the $30,000 level. And the reason for that, guys, is because if we move up above this golden pocket, as we can see right here, there's no volume. No volume that traded here. And this is a volume gap, and these things fill very, very quickly. Look at what happened right here. No volume. And when we came back, we filled that very, very quickly. Smooth move down, smooth move up. Right, I'm talking a super smooth. Like fiber, extra fiber, oatmeal with raisins and prunes and bran flakes and extra fiber flakes. Okay? Now, locally, we are simply just ranging. And as far as I'm concerned, because we have still made a higher high here, although things are looking weak, as long as we hold some very key supports, I will not be getting too bearish. We have a local range right here, and if we take a look at the Fibonacci golden pocket retracement from the low to the high, we can see that we have a very nice confluence coming in at the local value area low. Okay, the local value area low right here. That's going to be around 22,200 to 22,500. As long as we can hold this support, I will not get overly bearish, because we could look at this as basically just a retest from this big bounce before getting another high. But what I really want to see, guys, is I want to see a weekly close above 25,350. I want to see a weekly close above the February high that we put in back here at about 25,351. This is going to be a very, very key zone, a very, very key level to close above. We can see something a little bit concerning also on the daily market Cipher B, that the money flow has officially curved purple here. So we really need to put in and close a higher candle to invalidate this divergence. There is a chance that this is going to be acting as support. We do see purple money flow acting as support oftentimes in super bullish trends. Now locally, what is happening? Locally, guys, we are simply just trading a sideways range, okay? We got our move up to the top of the range, and then we got our move to the bottom of the range. And this made for some pretty good trades in the Casper Crew VIP Discord. Shout out to everybody in the Casper Crew. We gave the short setup from the top here at 25,256 and the long from the bottom here at 24,031. And as you can see, the short from 25,256 played out perfectly, as did the long trade from 24,031. So shout out to everybody in the Casper Crew who is taking these juicy trades. They both hit perfectly with the confirmations that we were looking for. Now, if you want to join the Casper Crew, where every single day we give the scalp setups, we give the swing trades, we give the day trades, we give the levels, you can go to patreon.com/JasonCasper to join the community, guys, where we do 3 live streams a day. But let me just say, this is not a signals group, right? We're not going to tell you long now, short now. That's not what we do. What we do is we give if-then scenarios, right? If the price of Bitcoin comes up to this green box, and if market Cipher B has divergences on the 24-minute, the 12-minute, and the 6-minute, then take the trade, right? It's not a signal, it's an if-then scenario. And that's exactly what happened in both of these scenarios, right? We came up to our box right here, and what did we see on all the time frames we were looking for? We saw bearish divergences. As we came up to our box, we saw the bearish divergences, and then same thing for the long trade from down here, which has hit a take profit 1, stop loss move to entry. We can see that we have bullish divergences regionally and locally here. So that's what you got to do, guys. Planned trades are profitable trades, and if you want to take advantage of trading on ByBit with 0% limit fees, link in the description. It's a good deal for people who actually know how to trade. If you don't know how to trade and you're trying to trade on ByBit, not only are you going to lose all your Bitcoin, all your Ethereum, all your Cardano, all your SHIB and Doge, but you're going to lose all your fiat. Your girlfriend's going to dump you. You're going to stub your toe on the dresser, the chair, the kitchen table, and under the sink. You're going to burn your tongue on a hot cup of coffee. Burn your tongue on the first bite of that amazing slice of pizza that you've been waiting all week to eat. Now you're not going to be able to taste it, all because you tried to trade on ByBit and you didn't know how to, right? But if you do want to know how to, you can check out the course at jasoncaspertrading.com, because this will teach you how to actually do this right without gambling away your money, but doing it in a systematic approach so that you can be profitable over time. So what is going to be happening with Bitcoin now that we are potentially printing the bearish upside down Sam Bankman-Fried pattern? Okay. Now, by the way, 6 Juanita, she did reject me. I thought that maybe going to the gym and getting buff would help her, would help me have a chance with her. But the truth is, guys, once in the friend zone, always in the friend zone. All right. She still rejected me after I got a little bit more buff, and here's why. It's because I skipped leg day. That's why. Okay. She couldn't even believe that these tiny legs could hold up such a big body. Crazy. So here's what we're looking at right now locally with market Cipher, and just the Bitcoin price in general. I would preferably like to hold levels of support that are higher than this value area low. And the truth is, guys, if we are going to continue down from here, if we're not going to hold support at some of these local areas, let's go down to the 1 hour time frame, right? Let's go down to the 1 hour time frame. We can see very clearly that if we're not going to hold the bottom of this local range right here, right? This is a local range, and we could still hold here. But it would be a very, very smooth move back down to the next major zone of support, which would be that value area low of the range, if we lose this key support that we're at right now, 23,800. The reason why is because, once again, smooth move up, smooth move back down. And right now I do have to say, it's not necessarily looking the most bullish in the world right here, as market Cipher B, money flow, and momentum waves are getting lower. And if we don't hold this key zone of 22.2, then I would say potentially, guys, this move was just fulfilling the August pattern, right? That August pattern that we've been watching for a while here, which is basically the triple top that we did back in August, right? Back in August, if we take a look at what happened here, is we came up to the top of the range, and we put in this 1, 2, 3 top, right? 1, 2, 3, and then we came back down to the low of the range. Well, we could be playing that same pattern, 1, 2, 3, and then come back down to the low of the range. Now, if you guys remember, my mindset when we got the perfect rejection from the 200-week moving average was, it's too easy. This was too easy of a short, right? It was so dang easy. I mean, everyone and their grandmother was aware of that 200-week moving average. Well, right now, we also have come up above that, stopped out everybody and their grandmother who was short from the 200-week moving average. And now if these divergences confirm, guys, it is really, really not looking good. Now, unfortunately, I did get into a short from that golden pocket, and it was just meant to be a small scalp trade because I thought we were going to get a small scalp off the 0.65 and then continue higher, but that did not happen. So we have come down from some place, and unfortunately, although I am short, I wish I was in the other short that I was in, guys, because I was short with a much bigger position size from the 200-week moving average, and now I'm in like just a fraction of the position I want to be in. So here's what I'm looking at for potentially building a short trade. If we're going to continue down, right? Is my camera, how's my hair look, guys? How's my hair look? How's my face look? If we are going to continue down from here, right, there's a few things that we need to be aware of. Now, I am still holding the long trade, guys. I'm still holding a long because I'm not convinced just yet that we're going to get a pullback, right? We very well may hold support. This was a very strong move up, and if we can close a candle with a nice bullish move, if we hold support at the local range, we may get that move to the upside. But if we don't get that move to the upside, right now, what I am looking at is the following, okay? Now, again, that we really do need to hold some of these key supports. But let's say that we're not going to get another pump, right? What's my plan moving forward in the event of massive dumpage? There's two things that we can do here. If we want to, let's say we believe this is the top. If we believe this is the top, there's a few things we can do. Number one, we could look for a retest at the Fibonacci golden pocket, wherever we get that reversal, and then we could look to enter short from the retest of the Fibonacci golden pocket, right? Because it's very, very likely that if we are going to get a back test, that we would reject from the Fibonacci golden pocket, right? We see this happening over and over again. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, that happened right here, right? When we put in that first high. Ooh, actually, we front ran that golden pocket. Would you look at that? We front ran it. But a lot of times, guys, we don't front run. So this first high that we got from the 200-week moving average, right? We got our move down. When we got that retracement, this is where we would actually look to get into a short. We might see the same exact thing happen again. Something else that we can look for, guys, is just a range to form, right? If this is a macro high, there's no need to FOMO short for no reason. We can wait for a range to form. Look at this, okay? Once a range forms, it gives us a context in which to look for a trade either long or short. That's how, in the Casper crew, we were able just today to take a long and a short trade, because we were just looking at the sideways range saying, look, if we come down to the low of the range, we could long. If we come up to the top of the range, we could short. And it just so happens that both of these trades have played out. And of course, this long might get stopped out after a TP1, which is totally fine, right? Because as long as you hit that TP, stop loss to entry, you can still be profitable over time doing this. We also might come down for another CDW of the CDW. That's also very, very possible. But Also, we can just wait for a range to form, and once we have a context of what is high and what is low, we can look to take a trade. So, for example, over here, there was a beautiful opportunity to take a short, which I'm pretty sure we did take just by looking at the local range that had formed right here, right? And then waiting until that high gets taken out with bearish divergences, and once it does, that can give us an opportunity to short. So it's not like there's any kind of FOMO ever when it comes to chasing price, right? We don't ever have to chase price because there will always be opportunities to enter into trades, whether long or short, in any kind of market context, right? So that's kind of my plan, because I am short in a position smaller than I would want to be, right? So right now, very, very locally, there is one potential bounce place that we could bounce from, and that's this right here. This area right here, as you can see, we do have somewhat of a sideways range that is forming right here. We can go down to a lower time frame, like the 24-minute time frame, and you can see that we did come down to the low of the range, but there is some liquidity that can be grabbed from right here. And in addition to that, if we take a look at a Fibonacci pull from the last low that we put in before that big impulse to the high, we can see that we also have a Fibonacci golden pocket coming in right below here. So this to me is the last floor. This is the last floor that we have before much lower prices. Now, how's market Cipher looking? Let's take a look right now. How's our 24-minute time frame looking? Does it look like we could potentially get some bullish divergences if we come down here? Maybe if we get a very, very fast move down. How's the 12-minute time frame looking? Right now, it looks like we might actually be able to come down there and get some kind of a bullish divergence. If we come down there quickly, we might actually be able to get a bounce. And if we do get a bounce, perhaps that would give us an opportunity to either short a lower high, coming back up to the top of the range like this, right? Let's say we do something like this, and we come back up to the top of that range. If we come back up to the top of that range, if we take the fib from the high to the projected low that we would get if we bounce into that golden pocket, we can see we have a very nice confluence with the Fibonacci golden pocket and the high of the range, which would basically allow us to get into another short trade if we get a bounce like that from the low right here, right? So we always need to be thinking one step ahead of the markets, like what is our next move going to be? If the price does this, then I will do that. If the price does this, then I will do that. Something else that we do need to keep our eyes on right now, guys, is going to be the S&P 500. Because the S&P 500 has gotten a pretty significant move to the downside yesterday, along with Bitcoin. When Bitcoin rejected the S&P, got this pretty significant move down. We're currently trading at the low of this sideways range right here. And basically, if the S&P 500 is going to bounce, in my opinion, it will come down to this area to take these lows. We have a nice area of support down here. That could be a nice area of support if Bitcoin is also finding support. And if we get a move to the upside, we have to be aware of resistance right here at 39.87. Two very interesting areas, because we know that the S&P, although it's not the correlation as far as the uptrend and downtrend is gone, but the correlation as far as them moving together is still here, right? If we see the S&P kind of ranging like it's been all day, we will see Bitcoin ranging. If we see the S&P getting a move up, Bitcoin will be getting a move up. If we see the S&P getting a move down, Bitcoin will be getting a move down. On the local time frames, on the macro time frames, not so much. Okay? Something else that's very, very interesting is the dollar, the DXY, is getting a move to the upside today. Look at this. Would you look at this? The dollar is just playing with our hearts, forming a range here. We did come up and we got a rejection from the golden pocket on February 23rd, which seemed very bullish at the time for Bitcoin, because I don't know if you guys remember this, but on February 23rd, if we check out the 4-hour time frame here, what was happening on February 23rd? Well, basically, Bitcoin was starting to, it was starting its move to the downside, and the dollar was also basically, it was pumping up here, right? It was pumping, and we thought this is really bad for Bitcoin, but then the dollar got a rejection from the golden pocket, and we were like, whew, that's good for Bitcoin. But then the dollar put in a higher high right up here, coming to March 9th, and that's the time that Bitcoin on March 9th was dumping like crazy, right? That was the whole Silvergate thing, right? March 9th, the whole Silvergate thing. And then we're like, this is horrible for Bitcoin, right? The dollar's pumping. Well, then the dollar started to reject again, putting in now a lower low on a higher term time frame, And now we're getting a move back to the upside. So in my opinion, this is a make it or break it zone. Why? Because if we now see the dollar put in a higher high, oh man, that's not necessarily the best thing for crypto. Now here's the thing about the dollar. All these highs here, they are just begging to get taken out. This is very sloppy market structure. There is not a clear swing high. There is not a clear swing low. It's just a conglomerate of mess along the way down. And typically we will see these things get taken out. The liquidity is grabbed. And if that happens, it's very likely we make our way up to the 109 area. If we see the dollar get a move up to the 109 area, that could be very, very bearish for Bitcoin. Now, this is where next week comes into play. Because next Wednesday, the FOMC rate hike announcement will be made. And the Fed right now is in between a rock and a hard place because the whole deal with the banks, guys, the raising of the rates is starting to basically expose the cracks in the banking system where the banks are insolvent. Especially with these rate hikes, banks are not able to continue on. And the only way to stop these banks from failing is to basically ease off on this financial policy, right? Of course, they're not calling it bailouts now. They're calling it, we have a slush fund of liquidity that goes into the banks if they need it, right? Something like that. But the only way to prevent these banks from failing, guys, is going to be to turn back on that printing press. It's going to be to turn back on that printing press. And once that happens, we are going to see Bitcoin really start to pump. But if the Federal Reserve continues to raise interest rates in the immediate short term, that is going to be bearish for Bitcoin. That's going to be strong for the dollar. So if this bearish scenario is going to play out where Bitcoin rejects from the top of the range and comes back down to the low of this very large range, it might kind of work out where on Wednesday we get some bearish news from the Fed that they're still raising interest rates, even though inflation is 6%, and that might just be the catalyst that kind of causes Bitcoin to get a little bit more of a pullback here. Now, even if Bitcoin does get a pullback, I still remain bullish in the long term because based on where we are in the macro cycle, I believe that the bottom of the bear market is in. We are very close to the halving. It could even be less than a year away, depending on how many transactions take place on the blockchain. Probably early next year, between March and April. And this is the time where Bitcoin will range. We will have a relief rally. We will have pumps and dumps. But this is the time where we need to accumulate for the next bull market. And I unabashedly have more Bitcoin on spot than I have ever had before in my life, right? I have more Bitcoin on spot right now than I've ever had in my life. And I'm not ashamed to say that I'm bullish on Bitcoin, right? I'm not ashamed to say it, right? I'm bullish on Bitcoin. I'm a believer in the 4-year cycle. And I do believe that we are going to see the Fed start to print again very soon. I believe that the way this system is going to go down is through hyperinflation. Right now, I think the Fed has two choices, right? They can either let this thing fail. There can either be an oops, there's no money scenario. Your bank has no money, sorry. Or there can be a let's just hyperinflate this thing into oblivion because we know there's a new financial system coming, right? We know that there is a new financial system coming, central bank digital currencies. Every single country in the world during the past year has implemented some kind of pilot program or bill implementing one of these CBDCs. We know that it's coming, right? And in order for it to come, there needs to be a removal of the old system. And the way I see it right now, there's two ways that could happen. Either A, they'll just let it collapse, or B, they'll prop it up and hyperinflate the dollar into oblivion to the point where nobody can afford anything, so everyone will have to be on some kind of universal basic income through this digital dollar, right? Not everybody, but it'll probably be implemented through some kind of welfare stimulus system, right? Just to help the people, because the government loves us very much. By the way, shout out to everybody in the chat. Wow, we've got about 1,100 people in here. 5 minutes. If we can get 1,000 likes in the next 5 minutes, we will be giving away $250 worth of Bitcoin. We need to get 1,000 likes before 2:30. It is 2:25. Shout out to TJ Johnson. Canada with bank connected digital ID now. Oof. That is not what I like to hear. Dow Jones and S&P are bouncing fast. Let's go Bitcoin. Yeah, let's go Bitcoin. Let's go. I would like to see Bitcoin get a little bit more of a bounce here. I really would, because well, I am long, and I would like to hit some TPs. So let's see here. Who else is in the chat? God bless you all. Thank you so much. The Fed might possibly come with 0 rate hike. That would be a plot twist, Abu. If the Fed comes out and does not raise interest rates, that would be a plot twist. Now, is this not crazy, right? Because a lot of us have been saying that the Fed is going to pivot. The Fed is going to pivot. There's been a big pushback against the idea that we're going to see the Fed pivot. But my main reasoning for thinking that we were going to start to see the Fed pivot was not even a fundamental reason. It was a technical reason. It was that historically speaking, the charts have given the bottom signal on the monthly time frame over and over again. We have seen this bottom signal every single time. And it's interesting how the fundamentals always line up with the technicals, right? The fundamentals always line up with the technicals. I mean, even right here in March 2020, we had very fundamental reasons for this dump that initiated the start of the crazy bull run leading right up into the halving, right? And so we're seeing the same thing again right here. And I know that I have a very weird view. I believe that the chart can actually tell you the future. It can't necessarily tell you specifics about the future, but it could tell you that something's gonna happen, right? Shout out to Rob Yo. Says, yo, let's get those likes up. You know, the chart can definitely tell you that something's going to happen, right? It's so interesting. You know, if we take a look at what did happen back in early 2020, for example, before everything went down, before we had that giant crash of 2020, I mean, we were printing some of the most bearish signals in the world on market Cipher. We were printing the Sam Bankman-Fried pattern in February on the 4-hour time frame. We were printing a very bearish pattern right here. Bearish divergences on the daily, Sam Bankman-Fried pattern on the 4-hour. And it could tell us something crazy is about to happen, because the pattern that we saw on the 4-hour chart back in 2020, that never happens. That never happens. The only 2 times I think it's happened was Bitcoin's all-time high at 69K right before March 2020, and it happened right before the FTX dump as well, which is so crazy. So like a week before FTX went under, we were starting to print the bearish sign on the chart. And right here, okay, FTX went down on Tuesday. That was when Binance tweeted that FTX has no money. Right up here, right? Look at this. The money flow had crossed purple as the price had made a higher high. Very rare. I think this has only happened 3 or 4 times in Bitcoin history, right? So it can tell you something crazy is about to go down. You should check out my video, How I Trade Elon Musk Tweets. Because, yeah, because you can take trades and basically you can know that there's going to be a move before the fundamental news comes out, right? All right. So Bitcoin is starting to get a move to the upside here, guys. Bitcoin is starting to get a pump to the upside. Let's check it out. Shout out to everybody in the Casper crew who took the long trade from the bottom that we gave the level in advance, man. This is technical analysis for you, man. People say it doesn't work, right? Short from the high of the day, long from the low of the day. That is absolutely crazy. Okay, we are getting a pump, and here's what we need to be looking for right now as we get this pump. TP1, in my opinion, should have been at the weekly. Now that we are back inside the value area low of this range, our next target is going to be the point of control of the range. 24,685 is the next target. 24,685. And then if we pull our fib from the high to the low, yeah, we could see that this is a interesting zone of confluence right here. And then we have the value area high of this very local range, which is going to be around this area up here at about 25,000. So next target for me is going to be $25,000. Let's go ahead and pull this. See what's up. Yeah, so I would target this zone right here, right around 25,000. This is no longer a CDW, so this can be removed. And then the level we have above that is going to be the macro Fibonacci golden pocket. So let's see if we get that move up. What is happening right now is if the price is able to move back inside of this value area, it becomes more probable than not that we actually fill the value area to the top, right? So let's go, baby. Let's hit our $25,000 target. I have just added a little bit to the long trade because why not? I had taken out a lot of profit at the weekly, and now I think we can get a move up here. Stop loss at the entry. Let's see what we can do. Okay, let's see what we can do here as we pump up right now. As we pump, let's go, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Shout out to Christian from Japan. All right, should we play the pump song? Maybe we need to play the pump song. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't have added to this trade. Let's see if we can't get a little pumperoni going on here. Let's go, baby. Come on. Come on. Come on. Okay, now, our next zone, our next major zone that we need to be aware of is going to be, for me, like the point of control at 24,683. But more so, I would want to target these highs. I want to target $25,000. So I'm going to hit a TP at 25,000. All right, let's see. Let's see if we can't if we could do it, because here's the thing. Again, we need to hold this level right here. If we start to lose this level, it's not looking too good for Bitcoin, honestly. Right? If we start to lose this level, it's not going to be looking too good for this long trade. Let's take a look at an order flow chart right now and see what's happening with the order flow. Okay? Let's see what's happening with the order flow. And let's actually pull a fib from the low to the high. I should have done this before I added to the trade, right? Oof, not looking so great. Okay, so look, this might have been a pretty bad move of me, adding to the trade here. But here's the thing. Dang. Okay, let's get back to our charts right now. If we lose this level, okay, this is bullish. So I would be looking for a Fibonacci golden pocket retest. So let's see if we get that. Let's see if we get something from 24,150-ish, right? But I would like to hold this level now and come up to 25K. Let's see what happens here. And I do want to take a look also at an order flow chart. So let's take a look at an order flow chart. Dang, guys. We're supposed to get 1,000 likes by 2:30. It's 2:34. If we can get 1,000 likes by 2:37, I'm extending it by an extra 7 minutes, we will give a $250 Bitcoin giveaway. All right, $250 Bitcoin giveaway. Yeah. All right, we are going to be taking a look right now at exo charts to see what is happening on this order flow. All right. And I've been having some issues loading EXO on my computer lately. It's been very, very slow go. But I want to see what is the live order book doing right now. Okay, what is happening right now? Right now, it looks like we are getting longs coming in. Longs are coming in right now. That was actually a little bit delayed here. Open interest is decreasing. And it doesn't look so strong. It doesn't look so strong, okay? It does not look so strong. Let's see. Did we get any kind of... No, we don't have any bearish CVD. Okay, we're coming up to the VWAP. That is also something that's good to know. Let's see if we can't get another big old pumperoni up here, right? Let's see if we can't get another good old pumperoni up here, right? Good old CDW from the bottom of the range. Let's see if we can't get another little move up from here. Okay, we have to hold the value area of the range. This is support number one. If this support is lost at 24,432, then we are coming down to the golden pocket. Then we are coming down to the golden pocket. Shout out to everybody hitting the like button up in here. We got 1 minute to get 1,000 likes. If everyone likes the video right now, we will absolutely be giving away $250 of Bitcoin. Looks like a retest of the head and shoulder, says J-Boy Bullish. The inverse head and shoulder, yeah, it does look like it could be a retest of that, guys. It does look like it could be a retest of the inverse head and shoulder breakout. So we will have to see what happens. We will have to see what happens. Yo, Chichaco, man, I'm live on YouTube right now, bro. How you doing? I was. Yeah, bro, I was out on the farm, but now I'm live streaming.
Oh man, well I didn't mean to interrupt the live stream. I need to get on and start watching.
Yeah, it's all good, man. Yo, everyone, shout out to Chichaco from Crypto Fusion Trading Bot, co-creator right now, on the phone. So, yeah, bro, I'm in a little long trade right here, and I you know what I did? I FOMO'd into my position a little bit more because I took out half the position, more than half the position, super early. And then when I saw we were starting to pump, I added a little bit to it, and it was a bad decision because now my entry is above the 0.5 fib. It's not even at the golden pocket. So yeah, and we're back testing the value area high of the range now as resistance. So what do you think I should do? Should I close the whole trade and maybe look to enter lower, or should I just let it get stopped out at the entry?
I mean, if you've locked in some kind of profit, there's nothing wrong with riding with it, right? Profit's profit. Green is green. Red is bad.
Thanks, man. I think I'm going to take your financial advice.
Yeah, everybody do that, please. Yeah, that's one way to go broke.
All right, bro. I'm going to head out, and after this stream, I am going to be back out on the farm working the land, bro. So I'll hit you up, all right?
All right, man. Later, bro.
All right, peace. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Chichaco, my good friend. Shout out to Brian Miller, who liked the stream 9 times. Shout out to Wolfman Ate My Crypto. Am I sure that that's not Sam Bankman? That's not Sam Bankman. All right, wow. Everyone's shouting out Chichaco in the chat, man. He is a cool guy. He is a cool guy. All right, guys, so here's the deal. Here's the deal. This long trade is a disaster, but at least it's locked in a profit. So if we don't pump here, I will be looking to re-enter down at the golden pocket zone right here. And if we don't get that, then I will honestly be looking to take the lows altogether and potentially get in at the golden pocket. So let's see. We are currently doing a good job holding this value area low right here. So I'm going to flip back on the order flow chart, and we're going to take a look what is actually happening here. Shout out to everybody in the live stream right now. You guys are amazing. May God bless you all. Make sure to hit the like. Okay, so we're getting another little move to the upside right now. Let's check out this. What is happening? Wow, a massive decrease of open interest right now. Longs have totally closed out of their positions. They have taken profits. Maybe that's a sign that I should do the same. Also, we see a few shorts opening up, but in general, shorts and longs have actually closed out here. We've seen a big decrease of open interest over the past few candles. After we saw a whole bunch of longs opening up here, some of those longs are now closing out. We don't see any bearish CVD divergences, which is a good thing. Okay, but we really do need to be watching to see, are we going to... Oh, man, now we're losing value area low. All right, we're losing it, guys. We're losing it. We're losing it. Dang. All right. You know, never fear, never fear. Just pull your fib. When in doubt, pull your fib out, guys. When in doubt, pull the fib out. And this music in the background is the kind of music we need to fight for our Bitcoin prize price. All right, Master in Disguise says, this is it. We're off to 28K. Let's go, baby. Let's go to 28K. Get in at 22.6, 22.6. Oh, 22.6. Yeah, 22.6. Yeah, that's much lower. That's much lower. Yeah, I'm just trading the local range right here. I am trading the local range. Shout out to everybody who's liked the video. 1,300 people, 800 likes. Man, I was hoping we could do that $250 giveaway. All right, if we can get 1,000 likes within the next 5 minutes, I'll do a $100 Bitcoin giveaway. I'm just trying to give away some Bitcoin, guys, because it is going to the moon up in here. It is going to the moon up in here. Shout out to Christian Lajeras, who says, 9K down to 5K. I want to follow your trades. Is that possible? Well, my friend Christian, here's what we do in the Casper Crew VIP Discord. We don't give trade signals, but we give if-then scenarios, right? Like this morning, we said, I would take the short if we get divergences on the 24-minute, 12-minute, and 6-minute, and that's exactly where we got the drop from earlier this morning, from right up here, right before New York opened, right from this high, and then we wanted to come down into this box with bullish divergences, and that's the long trade that we took from the bottom. But we don't say, hey, I very rarely will I say I'm long or I'm short, right? What we do is we take a bowl from the cabinet, we put it in front of you, we take a box of cereal, we open it up, open the bag, we pour the cereal into the bowl, we take the milk, we pour the milk on top of the cereal, we take the spoon, we put the spoon in your hand. Now it's up to you to eat that bowl, bro. It's up to you to eat that bowl. You know, I'm not going to eat it for you. No one's going to eat it for you. So this is not a signals group. This is an educational group. If you spend time in this community, you will learn a lot, right? But nobody's going to give you signals. You might, some people treat these like signals, but they're not signals. Signals are buy here, put your stop loss here, take your profit here, right? This is, if this happens, then this is my personal paper trading plan. Because of course, guys, this is all paper trading. I don't trade with real money. No one should, right? No one should. And if you want to learn how to do this, there's a 20% discount on the course at jasoncaspertrading.com, right? It's a good deal. All right, enough of my senseless shilling here. Enough of this shilling. Shout out to Brief Crypto. Shout out to Steven. Sometimes I pull my fib out at 7-Eleven. Yes, I also do that as well. Wherever I am, I pull the fib out, guys. I pull the fib out at all times. I was at Walmart the other day with my beautiful wife. Shout out to Big Butts 28, and I got an alert. I pulled out my phone at the register, pulled the fib right there in front of everybody. They were looking at me. Yeah, and that's the thing. Price can do anything. People are like, Jason, what's the price? Is it going to go up or is it going to go down? My answer is always the same. It depends. We can't know what price is going to do. You have to have multiple plans for multiple situations, right? This guy had multiple plans. Plan A was if Bitcoin doesn't pump, I'll be a depends model, right? Plan B was Bitcoin will pump and I bought it at $1. So now I'll become some rich Bitcoin guy who lives in Dubai. You know, you got to have multiple plans for multiple scenarios. Either way, he's very confident. Hand on the hip. That kind of confidence only comes by having multiple plans in advance, right? Multiple plans in advance. All right, let's take a look at some other coins, guys. While we're waiting for this inevitable Bitcoin pump to take place. While we're waiting, let's check to see if we have any bearish CVD forming. No, we do not have bearish CVD forming. So that's good to know. Let's take a look at some other assets, guys. Let's take a look at our good friend Ethereum real quick. All right, let's take a look at our good friend Ethereum. Guys, Ethereum got a fake out of this massive triangle that we have been printing since May. And we actually did come up, believe it or not, and rejected from literally to the exact dollar, the level that we had marked out in the Casper Crew Discord, like to the exact dollar. It's pretty crazy. A key resistance above here. And Ethereum is in a very similar situation to Bitcoin in the sense that we are absolutely getting those higher highs into a key zone of resistance as we are getting these lower highs, giving us the upside down Sam Bankman-Fried bearish man boo pattern. Very, very bearish. And so here's the thing. Again with ETH, if we are going to lose certain key zones of support, I believe we're going to see much lower prices. So on a higher term time frame, right, we can take this volume profile from June and see that we simply just rejected from the top of the range, right? We simply just rejected from the top of the range. Now, the thing that's differentiating Ethereum from Bitcoin is that while Bitcoin, if we look at Bitcoin, this is the daily time frame. If we look at Bitcoin also on the daily time frame here, right? If we look at Bitcoin on the daily time frame, we can see that as Bitcoin has basically been trading here since May, Bitcoin has been trading in range to range, right? We had the May range, we totally lost it, started to form the summer range and the fall range, totally lost it, formed the winter range, then totally broke out, and now we're starting to trade in this range, right? ETH is not so. ETH is not so. ETH has literally been in the same macro range the entire time, right? This same macro range. We've just been consolidating closer and closer and closer together. What that means is this. Right now, we have a very nice shout out to Pushpack Nemade, who says Aave looks good for a long. I haven't traded Aave since summer of 2020 on Binance Futures. if we take a look at the Fibonacci golden pocket retracement from the low on ETH to the high, we can see that if we do eventually get a move down to here, it's very, very probable, depending on how long it takes, that we find a nice confluence right down at the golden pocket, the value area low area, right? We know that if this is going to be some kind of pattern that is respected, we are going to be finding our support in between the Fibonacci golden pocket and the 786 right down here. And so very, very interesting stuff. I would expect, even if Bitcoin puts in a lower low, Ethereum very well may put in a higher low. And we need to be watching this because, again, when the FTX dump happened for Ethereum, what happened? Ethereum did not take out the June low, right? Ethereum, the May low was the low for Ethereum. The June low did not even take out the, I'm sorry, this was the June low over here. The FTX low in November did not take out the June low. So if Bitcoin, even if Bitcoin puts in another lower low, we might see Ethereum put in another higher low and respect this trend line. And I know a lot of people are looking at this as a giant bear pennant for Ethereum. And if that is the case, right? If that is the case, if Ethereum is printing a giant bear pennant, I do believe that it could still be bullish over the long term. And my reasoning for that is this. We know that the target of this bearish pennant, which would be a massive breakdown, we would have to have something crazy happen in the crypto markets. But this would be giving us like around a $500 Ethereum. And if we take a look at where's that $500 Ethereum, it's right here at the last major area of resistance that we have. Before the breakout in the summer of 2020, that massive breakout, this is that last major support resistance flip. And in my opinion, a retest of this level would be extremely bullish, right? This is obviously bearish in the short term, but I do believe this would be very bullish in the long term. Ethereum, long term, very, very bullish. In my opinion, I do believe that it will eventually have a bigger market cap than Bitcoin. It has a much bigger use case than Bitcoin, which is just meant to be a currency, but we can't even really use Bitcoin as a currency right now. People can use Ethereum for so many different things. It's going to be crazy. If we have the opportunity to buy Ethereum at $500 again, that would be insane. I would be all over it. And I've already been buying Ethereum. I had some pretty lowball bids. I had some lowball bids on Bitcoin that got filled around 15.5K. I had some bids for ETH around 800 and we never filled those bids. So I still have them open. So if we get something earth-shattering that is going to happen within the next few months, then be ready for a move down to here. But I would say that this would be a very bullish move, right? And the same is true with Bitcoin, right? If Bitcoin is going to put in a lower low, then it's like, if Bitcoin puts in that lower low, we have to understand we are still, as far as the market cycle goes, as long as we don't lose that 9K area, this is nothing unprecedented from previous cycles. Because as long as we don't lose the 886 area, which is coming in around 10K, this is nothing different than previous bear cycles where we bottom out at this level. We get some kind of crazy, last time we did get some kind of crazy black swan event. The whole world shut down, and that was the catalyst that pushed us into a massive pump. And I'm very curious to see what is going to happen with the Fed in the coming weeks as we see potentially some economic easing happen here, right? Man, you guys are the best. Shout out to Surface 9. An education group, we learn and make monies. We make paper monies in the educational group. That's what we do. Why did I do Da Vinci Dirt? I did that. That's not Da Vinci, guys. He just looks like Da Vinci. You guys are weird. Shout out to J5. Yeah, you know, if we get a little WW3 going on officially, because right now I would say we've got it going on, but more in a proxy kind of way. But yeah, if it's anything official happens, if there's a certain type of weapon that's used that hasn't been used since World War II allegedly, then that could cause something crazy as well, right? So whenever we get these black swan events, it typically leads to an opportunity, right? Leads to an opportunity. We have a hidden bullish on the weekly. Let's get to 1,000 likes, y'all, says Crypto Fart. Do I use Elliott Wave? I don't really use Elliott Wave. No, I don't. I know it works, but for me, it's just too much to have on the chart, guys. It's just too much. I'd rather just look at horizontal levels and let those kind of do their thing. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Dang, guys, this is not what I wanted to see here. This is not what I wanted to see. Mike Rowan says something that I often wonder about, and I don't know for certain, but I've thought about it many times, thinking to myself, you know, I can't know this. I do not have the ability to know this, but it does seem strange. There's a lot of things that seem strange about the fact that nobody ever has done this ever since that one time, 2 times. I don't know, man. I don't know. These days, nothing would surprise me. Literally nothing would surprise me. So everything I hear, I just think to myself, huh, maybe, and then I move on with my life, right? Getting a little bounce off the 382. Do I use Pantene Pro V? No, I don't. This is green screen that's not channeled in right, so my hair is a little bit fuzzy, and also I barely even use soap or shampoo. S&P rejected from the local 618. Let's check out the S&P right now, as my trade is about to get closed out with a $400 profit. I shouldn't have FOMO'd in. Guys, the truth is, I took the long. I took out a lot of the profit, more than half of the trade when we were like down in this area because I was scared, and I shouldn't have done that. Then I FOMO'd in more of my position, gave myself the worst entry in the world, literally the worst entry in the world. So, all right, we'll check out Aave Coin. Thank you so much for the super chat. We got to also check out the S&P right now, so we're gonna check out the S&P quickly. Let's see, S&P 500. All right, we're going to check out the ES. Has the ES rejected from the local Fibonacci? Let's check it out. Okay, so we have the local Fib from the high to the low. We are currently getting a rejection from the local 6 Juanita. Right? The big time 6 Juanita rejected us. The hometown 6 Juanita, she might not reject us. Right? She has limited options, the hometown 6 Juanita. She knows if she doesn't date Jay Casper, she might end up alone for the rest of her life. It's a give and take, you know? Am I going to settle for Jay Casper and have a family, or am I going to not settle and never find anybody, you know? So let's see what's going to happen here. But so far, yes, we are getting a little rejection from here. And as requested by Super Chat, let's take a look at Aave. Hang on. How do you even spell Aave? It's A-V-E-E? Aave USDT? Yeah, here we go. Aave USDT. Right? Did I spell that right? Aave? I haven't traded Aave since the summer of 2020, guys, in August. AAVE. Sorry, AAVE. Aave on Binance. All right, let's check out Aave, guys. Wow, look at Aave getting a nice little pump on the 24-minute time frame. All right, let's check out this coin. Let's do some thorough, in-depth analysis on it. We have a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful range going back to May. Just like we do for many altcoins, this range coming back to May. Pull the volume, and look at this. We came down and front ran that value area low just by a little bit. Man, that is a bummer, but let's see. Did we get any other kind of confluence? Okay, so we bounced from the Fibonacci Golden Pocket, a beautiful area of support right down here. And I would say that right now, this, in my opinion, was a long trade that could have been taken that no longer is obviously can't be taken now. So the reason why I actually like this is because we put in a low right here. We put in a low. We put in a higher high, taking out the local high. We put in a higher low, and then we put in a higher high. So locally, at least from this low, we are in an uptrend, right? From November, just like Bitcoin, we are now in an uptrend. So what that means now is we can, in fact, look for some kind of a higher low to be put in again. This would have been a great candidate for finding that higher low, honestly. I mean, if we had been looking at this chart a while ago, this, we could say, is the higher low. So if this is the higher low, here's the thing. If we want to long Aave right now, we need to be thinking in if-then scenarios. If this is the higher low of an uptrend, right? If this was the bounce and we missed it and we're about to put in a higher high, we have to accept that we are going based off the premise that the higher low is in, right? That's how we have to approach a trading plan. We have to say, look, I'm assuming such and such is true. If such and such is true, this is how I'm going to plan. And part of that plan is being willing to accept I might be wrong, and then you take a loss, which is why we use good risk management. So if the higher low is in here, then what we need to do is we need to be going down to a lower time frame to say, okay, where can we hop in now after the higher low has been put in? And we can see that money flow is getting higher on the 4 hour. And so the thing I would like to do is I would like to pull the fib from the high to the low and say, aha, look at this. Now we have a potential entry here at the Fibonacci Golden Pocket 786, right in this zone. This would be an area where I would look to potentially long Ave if we understand that we're going based on the belief that this was a macro higher low. If this is a macro higher low, and we have locally changed market structure here by putting in a higher high, right? This is locally, we could say we've locally changed market structure. On the higher term time frames, we can say that we are in an uptrend, right? So we're building kind of a case for the context of this trade here. Then we could say, okay, because of those reasons, I will be looking to take a long on Ave right here if we come down to this zone. And then we need to have a set of confirmations that's going to get us in. We need to have an invalidation point for the trade, and we need to have take profits for the trade so that regardless of what happens, we are sticking to the plan. So if we take a loss, it doesn't set us back, and if we take a win, it can be very, very profitable. Now, let's say this is true, the whole premise is true, and we're going to put in a higher high. If that's the case, this is giving us, even if we just shoot for, let's say we shoot for the last high that we put in right here, before we put in the macro low. Let's see if we can get any other kinds of targets here. Let's quickly see if we can get any other kinds of targets. All right, this means we need to be a little bit cautious here, but we do have to understand if we break out of this trend line, it could be very, very bullish. If we break the trend line, we could potentially come up to these highs here at the top of the range, back to that order block. So potentially we have ourselves with a very conservative stop loss. The conservative stop loss is going underneath the low. This is giving us a 6-to-1 risk-reward ratio where we're going to target the high of the range. We're going to target the high of the range right here. Now, also, we just have to understand a few more things here. I think this is also crucial to just realize that we're trading in a triangle, right? We're trading in a triangle. So trading in a triangle, this is consolidation. If we're going to break out of the triangle because we're at the apex, this could be a very bullish potential setup here. We have put in a low, we put in a high, we put in a higher low, we put in a higher high. We're assuming this is the higher low, and so now we're looking for a higher high to be put in. This could be a bullish setup right here. The way I would approach this is, personally for me, I would probably be looking for a higher leverage entry, and I would be putting my stop loss much tighter. As soon as I see that bounce, I would put my stop loss under that bounce, in which case could give us a much, much better trade setup, because the tighter our stop loss, the more money we can put on the trade, and the more profit we can make in a smaller move. So even if we just come back up to the top of the trend line here, let's say we bounce exactly from the golden pocket. This means we're risking 1%, we're risking 2% to make 30%, right? We're risking 2% to make 30%, just based on this trade setup. Of course, the way I would trade, I would say, don't actually risk 2%, only risk 1%, and instead of making 30%, just shoot to make 15%. That is an excellent potential trade setup, right? So what I would want to see as we come down to this Fibonacci golden pocket is I would want to see the 1 hour time frame now giving me uneven butt cheeks, right? I would want to see something like this. Maybe we come back up, retest this key zone of support resistance, then get a move back down into our golden pocket. As we get a move back down into the golden pocket, we want to see the uneven butt cheek pattern printing on market Cipher B, where we've got the very juicy left butt cheek over here, followed by the very skinny right butt cheek over here. That could actually make for a very good setup, in my opinion, right? And then we could look for, you know, depending on where we see that bounce, I would just move the stop loss underneath that last wick, and potentially this could give us a very juicy long setup, right? And that's basically how you should plan all your trades, right? You should look at what's happening. You should say, this is what's happening. I'm going to take this for granted, and based on what I'm taking for granted, I'm going to go ahead and try and make a trading plan. How's our Bitcoin doing here? Okay, Bitcoin's getting moved back to the upside here, guys. Bouncing off the Fibonacci 382. My long trade is not dead yet, guys. It's not dead yet. It's not dead yet. It's still alive, guys. It's still alive. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to Cozy Babe. Shout out to Ricardo. Shout out to Digital Dave. Shout out to Jason Mayer. The DXY is bouncing up. That's a bummer. Shout out to JMT Fan 28. I love you too, man. May God bless you. JC, I always FOMO and I feel like a mofo. Does that make me a homo? A homo sapien? We're all homo sapiens, guys. And we all have emotions. We all FOMO. That's just how it is. Yeah, I haven't looked at Aave in forever, right? It was a great coin to trade in summer 2020. Right, Michael? I know, man. I was making bank on Aave back then in those days and at that time. Let's check out one more thing on an order flow chart just to see, are we getting any kind of bearish absorption here? Because if so, I might just dip out of this long trade and go work on the farm. No, we're actually printing somewhat of bullish CVD here on a decrease of open interest. But nonetheless, it is bullish CVD, but I wouldn't say there's any absorption here because we're not really seeing any shorts opening up to be absorbed, right? We're not. Anyway, guys, God bless you. Thank you so much for stopping by the stream. I'm going to cut it. I have to go work on the farm, guys. Get the ground ready. It's so important to be self-sufficient, guys. Make sure you are doing everything you can do to be as self-sufficient as you possibly can. Starting businesses, learning how to trade, growing your own food, raising your own animals, guys. As things get crazier and crazier in the world, we are going to have to rely more and more on ourselves. We don't want to have to rely on the government for anything. Especially, we don't want to have to rely on the supply chain for our food. We want to be able to produce it ourselves in our own local communities and amongst our own families, right? That's the way to do it. So I'm going to head out, guys. May God bless you all in Jesus' name. I know not everyone's religious, but I still pray you are very blessed. May the Lord bless you. May He protect you. May He shine light upon you. May He have grace upon you. And may the Lord turn His face towards you and give you wholeness and peace in the name of Jesus, the Messiah, the God of Israel. Amen. I will see you guys all in the next stream. Peace.